This is not the Church of Latter-day Saints of Joseph Smith. This is the Church of Jesus Christ.
Travis Wingitzel. Sherry Woods saw this morning, which was just after 6 a.m., had commented on my last chance for Mormon's Day of Atonement 2023 before Harvest Gathering of Conference. She's defending the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The thumbnail picture uses Yom Kippur, not Day of Atonement. Okay? This is the context, and she's defending the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So she's presenting an argument in defense of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Sherry Woods, Mormon, defending the church. This is her argument. My goodness. Just twist things around. This man needs a shrink. Defending the church. She doesn't explain what's twisted about the learning of the Jews, Sherry? Are you familiar with anti-Semitism? And then, she's not speaking to me. She's not saying, Travis, this isn't the doctrine of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Why would you say such things? And then I'd respond, I've got 3.1K videos on this channel. You want your answer? Start watching. Nope. She instead thought she was going to you. She was trying to incite the mob against me. Kill the beast. And as I've been trying to teach you, ignorance, illiteracy, they go hand in hand, leads to hate, and hate leads to violence. That's a verbal threat. Sherry has escalated her ignorance of Mormonism to hate the thumbnail picture with Yom Kippur. And she clicked on it so that she could escalate to violence, verbal abuse. Good job, Sherry. She owned me. I had another one, is Meacham. I think Brian or David Meacham. Don't remember offhand. And it's in the file with a whole lot of them. And I did a video yesterday or the day before in which I was going to refer to a comment, and I had spent a number of minutes looking for it, so I had to cut and splice the video. So I'm not going to go through that again today. Because he was responding to the same video. And instead of asking me, he told me. And it was clear from his comment, he doesn't know the subject matter. He just had heard things and now was telling me, the foremost anthropologist of the ancient Middle East, who deciphered Paleo-Hebrew, which led to the decipherment of Egyptian and the learning of the Egyptians and the language of the Egyptians. And I have to say it that way so that you understand what I mean. Because current Egyptologists only know the learning of the Greeks in the language of the Egyptians. I refer to the Rosetta Stone. And I could explain further on that. We're mentioning Gary Greenberg and D.M. Murdoch and Ahmed Osman, but this is not that video. And yet Mormons will argue, well, you didn't mention that in this video, therefore you're wrong. But the Meacham guy, Brother Meacham, telling me that the Jerusalem Jews don't celebrate Yom Kippur right now. Not until 6 p.m. this evening. That's what he was saying. He apparently didn't watch the video long enough where I linked you verbally to the Jewish calendar online, which shows that right now is Yom Kippur. He didn't bother to ask and say, I'm confused. I thought the Jerusalem Jews practiced Yom Kippur on 6 p.m. Why are you trying to claim that at 6 p.m. last night started Yom Kippur? Nope. He told me. He has no clue about the subject matter, and he was telling me off. That was his argument. To defend the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, he was telling me that the day of Yom Kippur is wrong, and therefore the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is true. He didn't bother to ask, because 3.1K videos, the foremost anthropologist of the ancient Middle East, deciphered Paleo-Hebrew, which led to the decipherment. Nope, he's telling me. That was his argument. And I could have explained to him the difference between the Jerusalem Jews and the American Jews, that the American Jews, there are many who believe in the prophecies of the law, Deuteronomy 18:15 through 19, that the man like Moses will come to America. That New Jerusalem is in America. Right, Carly Simon? Let the river run or flow? Let the river run. There is a difference. Judaism is split. Just like Christianity, but not as many splits as Christianity. In our day, we're witnessing even more splits. Methodists are now split. Baptists are now split. As more keep splitting off from Catholicism and other Christianities. You need to know the bigger context. You need to understand, I already know this information. And so you should be asking yourself, why is he referring to the American Jewish calendar? Oh, I see. The solar eclipses, the 3 days of darkness from Exodus, the man like Moses, are over the United States of America and form the letters in Paleo-Hebrew, A, and the last letter, which in Babylonian Semitic Hebrew is pronounced tau. It's actually the chi in Greek. But I don't know. Who am I? Meacham owned me. So then, ignorance leads to hate. Hate leads to violence. Meacham is clueless on the subject matter. He just heard something about it that contradicts me. Therefore, I'm wrong. And so he's using his hate to then escalate to verbal abuse, telling me I'm wrong, rather than asking, how did you come up with this? Had no interest or desire in learning from me. Because as an ancient, or the anthropologist of the ancient Middle East, the foremost, as if you've been paying attention to my 3.1K videos, they're all about the latter days, thus about the man like Moses. I am the foremost Jewish rabbi. I'm just not an official Jewish rabbi. And so, one more. We'll go back in history. I did this the other week. Referred to him. F. Michael Watson. He was then secretary to President Gordon B. Hinckley of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I had just barely deciphered Paleo-Hebrew script and was looking around to try to find out if there's anything else from Joseph Smith that I could use to test my Paleo-Hebrew script theory with, because that's what you do in science. And I had reached out to the church, sent President Gordon B. Hinckley a letter, and F. Michael Watson responded with a letter and said, I have been authorized to respond to you. He intercepted the letter and didn't show it to President Hinckley. And said he had consulted with his besties at BYU, who were Hebraists. Right, John Tavednis? And was told the tradition. And so he regurgitated the tradition. This is the tradition. This is how it is. You're wrong, Travis. And thus Joseph Smith is wrong? What? John Tavednis went on to say, I never said that. Yes, you did. You got busted. And so, yeah, again, defending the church by throwing Joseph Smith under the bus. I already knew the tradition. I had taken biblical Hebrew by one of the foremost Hebraists in the world, who studied under Thomas O. Lambden. And if you don't know who he is, it's because you haven't been in the field and you haven't bought his textbook. They're trying to replace him, if you didn't know. There are some others that are creeping up to be popular over him. But his textbook is still dominant, worldwide anyway. And so, yeah, in order to decipher Paleo-Hebrew, it was necessary to fact-check the tradition. And in fact-checking the tradition, I found that William Foxwell Albright's decipherment was crap. Everything was wrong. Everything was wrong. And I would go on to learn later, because I had to wait until Google search came around, that it was because Sir Alan Gardner told him to bias the research by just forcing the acronym theory on it. It's not how science works. You don't impose Christianity, a bias, onto your research, because it will be wrong automatically. Ignorance leads to hate. Hate leads to violence. So, Mormons are incapable of defending the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints as non-Trinitarian Christian. Mormons are incapable of soundly defending the Book of Mormon as another testament of Jesus Christ, non-Trinitarian. Mormons can't do it. They lose automatically all the time because they're imposing a bias on their research. Because they believe the core lie of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Emphasis specifically added. 1 Nephi chapter 1, verse 2. Learning of the Jews, language of the Egyptians. Now, do you know what led me to become the foremost anthropologist of the ancient Middle East, having deciphered Paleo-Hebrew? And that led me to deciphering the learning of the Egyptians, language of the Egyptians. I use science. I let science dictate what truth is, not my bias. Because I had questions as a kid, and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints was not answering them. And so, as I did the video yesterday, Joseph Smith even tells us that the Book of Mormon is in the learning of the Jews. What is the learning of the Jews? It's a book of prophecy, of revelation of the latter days. Thus, the Christ, regardless of the name, is Emmanuel, the latter-day Christ of the learning of the Jews. And so, yes, Sherry and Brother Meacham have biased, and with their bias, they see my videos as wrong. And so they're correcting me with fallacy arguments. And it's sad because they refuse to use science, or at least try to learn from the Book of Mormon as it is written. So that they don't impose their bias when they read. But being born and raised Mormon, we are all subjected to that bias. We are all born in sin. With the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints' bias upon us when, well, apparently fetuses can hear outside of the womb. which is kind of cool. So if you want your baby to sleep through the vacuum cleaner, you got to vacuum while the baby is sleeping in your womb. So that the baby is used to that noise while sleeping. But, yeah. And so, fallacy arguments, guys. The Tad Kellister video I did, I posted the Wikipedia link to list of fallacies, and that forgotten man, the brother forgotten man, refused to use sound argument. He was more interested in attacking me and my character with a fallacy ad hominem than defending the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, because he can't do it. He can only attack me and my character. He cannot defend the church. And I had to report him because of his verbal abuse. And YouTube didn't. And as a result, he came back. Because that's what they do. Bullies never back down. That ignorance that led to hate, that leads to violence, they won't back down. You have to punish them. You have to shut them down and silence them, or they won't stop. They'll just keep escalating the level of violence until they subject you to their bullying. This is the danger that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is subjecting all Mormons to. They are purposely turning you into weapons. So, you have to use sound arguments, and not a single Mormon can do it. Unable to do so. So thus, nobody is able to... We're done.